My name is Dr. Janet Kigome, and I'm the lecturer at the Open University of Tanzania. I welcome you in this session where we are going to discuss about curriculum development. This is the first section of the course OEI 101, which is Curriculum Development and Evaluation. Please welcome and feel free to work with me along this lecture. This is the first section, as I said, of course curriculum development. And it's a main section which has a link with all other sections of the course. And this section has three major topics, whereby today we're going to discuss about topic 1, curriculum development. These are main topics. As you can see, topic 1 is about the concept of curriculum and curriculum development. Topic 2 is about principle of curriculum implementation and evaluation. And topic 3 is about curriculum change and innovation. But today we are going to discuss about concept of curriculum and curriculum development. This is the first section we are going to discuss today, the concept of curriculum and curriculum development. Before we go further to discuss the meaning of curriculum development, I think we need to know what is curriculum. Curriculum is a very common word in school environments, in teaching and learning environments. And I think is the most used word in the teaching and learning environment, in school environments in general. Curriculum is the heart of education and is the heart of schooling and teaching and learning. Curriculum is not a big book like many people think. When people hear the word curriculum, they expect to see a big book, which is curriculum. But curriculum is all learning experience, which students undergo under school and teacher supervision. Curriculum is a list of lessons and academic contexts taught in the school in specific course or a program. And as I mentioned earlier, curriculum is not a big book, but curriculum is a total guided learning experience which students or learner has to undergo under supervision or facilitation of teacher and school. Curriculum has been seen through different elements, can be seen through different elements and components. So we are going to see the components or elements of curriculum. There are 4 elements which can describe a curriculum, or 4 elements which curriculum can be manifested. The first element is curriculum aims, goals, and objectives. And these are the aims of education. These are the aim of schooling. These are the aims of specific course or program. When a child or when a student in the school, what are we expecting a child or a student to learn? There should be goals, aims, and objectives. And second element is curriculum content, or list of subject matter. These are actual subjects which we are expecting a learner or a student to learn at school. This is the second element. The third element is curriculum experience or learning experience. These are actual learning. These include instructional methods, strategies, and ways which a learner learn a specific content. So this includes teaching strategies, teaching methods, and all other experience which help a learner to learn a specific course or specific program. And the last element is curriculum evaluation. Evaluation is a formal determination of the quality of learning, or a formal determination of realization of curriculum goals. After setting our learning objectives, after organizing our content, after organizing learning experience, then lastly we need to evaluate if what we intended to be learned is learned very well. So these 4 elements is what make a curriculum. And curriculum cannot be seen in one big book, but can be seen in these 4 elements. So now let us go to the curriculum developments. Some people confuse between curriculum design and curriculum developments. These words are not synonyms, are different words, even though they are working very closely. Curriculum developments means organize the preparation of whatever going to be taught in the schools at a given time in a year. Or we can say curriculum development is a process of improving a curriculum. And sometimes also we can say is planning a purposeful, progressive and systematic process to create positive improvements in education system. Generally, curriculum development is a process of selecting learning goals, learning content, learning experience, and how you are going to evaluate those goals. That's the curriculum development. A process of selecting learning goals, process of selecting learning subjects, process of selecting learning experience, and how you are going to evaluate the 3 components. It's refer all those processes and activities systematically undertaken by either individual or institution to come up with education program. You have educational program, either primary education, secondary education, then you need to organize what is going to take place to facilitate that program. And that's what we call curriculum development. A process of selecting goals, a process of selecting a content, is a process of selecting learning experience, and process of selecting ways of evaluating learning a program. This is what is curriculum development. When you select learning objectives, when you select learning content, means subjects to be learned, when you select learning experience, which means methods and teaching strategies, and when you select way of evaluating the goals, is what we call curriculum development. So I'm going to take you to one of the important, prominent person who help us to understand the process of curriculum development. Sometimes we call him the grandfather of curriculum, Ralph Tyler. Ralph Tyler advised that in order to understand a process of curriculum development, there are important questions that we need to ask ourselves. We need to reflect on this question when developing a curriculum. And through these questions, we can identify steps involved in curriculum development. So Ralph Tyler proposed the 4 important questions which any education institutions, teachers, and other stakeholders need to ask before developing a curriculum. And this question is what gives us important steps in developing curriculum. And these are the questions. First question, you need to ask yourself, what's education purpose that you are seeking to attain? What are the aims, what are the objectives and the goals you seek to attain? Mean the goals. And the second question is what education experiences can be provided to meet these purposes? What are the education experience can be provided to attain these goals? And the third question, how can this education experience can be effectively organized? How can this education experience can be effectively organized? And this is a matter of learning experience. How can learning experience be organized? And this include teaching methods, strategies, and all other ways you can make a student learn a content. And the fourth question is how we can determine whether these purposes are being attained or achieved. How can we determine if these goals and purpose are being attained or achieved? It's a matter of evaluation. So according to those 4 questions, we get 4 steps in curriculum development. And these are the 4 steps. The first step is to determine the school purpose, or we can also say objectives. And this can also determine the education purpose of the certain country, a purpose of certain program, purpose of the certain school. And the second step is to identify education experience related to purpose. Here means the content, the subject matter which are related to the purpose or the objectives. And the third step is to organize learning experience. How are you going to teach those subjects? How are you going to implement those objectives? You need some methods, you need some strategies, and you need some ways to teach children to learn the planned subjects and to teach children according to the settled objectives. And the first question is to evaluate the process. This is very important steps because it informs you if your settled objectives are achievable, if your planned objective attained. So the first step is very important because it informs the schools, it informs teachers and educational authorities that the curriculum is successfully implemented. So these are 4 steps. These 4 steps are not linear. They can always be revised. You can come to evaluate and go back to set back your objectives. So this process can always rotate for improvements. So after see the meaning of curriculum development in the step of curriculum development, we need to understand what the sources of curriculum. As a student teacher, you need to understand where do we get the objectives? Where do we get the subject matters? Where do we get learning experience? How do we decide that this topic is going to be taught by these methods? How do we decide that this books is going to teach these subjects? How do we organize curriculum? How do we get information to develop our curriculum? So there are various sources of curriculum. I'm going to take you through these sources. These sources are what shape a curriculum of any country. The sources are what shape education system. Is what determine what to be learned at school. Is what determine what teacher is going to teach in the classroom. You are welcome. These are the sources. There are various sources, but today I'm going to mention the few. You can still explore other sources because there are so many sources of curriculum, content of curriculum, objectives or goals of curriculum experience. There are so many sources, but I'm going to mention and explain few sources. The first and foremost important source is students' needs or student needs. What learners need to learn is the first and important source of curriculum. According to Lafayette Tyler, it said that before developing any curriculum, you need to understand what learner needs, what learner wants. The need of the learners is what determines what to be taught in the school, and is what determines how curriculum is going to be developed and organized. The second source is society needs. Students are in the school for the need of the society. After going to school, they are coming back to the society to implement or to do or to help society to fulfill their needs. So society needs is the second source. Curriculum designers must notice the role that society will play in the curricular ideas and analyze society's situational and society needs. So any curriculum should reflect curriculum needs, and any curriculum should be designed or developed according to society's need. Because at the end of the day, children are going to the school so that they can serve society needs and various issues in the society. And another source is science. Science has a lot to do with curriculum development. Based on scientific method, the curriculum can contain observable and quantifiable elements which are feasible to the learner and student needs. So science determines what to be learned and how to be learned. So science is very important source of curriculum and curriculum development. Another source is country philosophy. What is the belief of the country? What's the philosophy of the country? Like we Tanzanians, our philosophy is education for self-reliance. Then self-reliance should be reflected in the content in the school. Self-reliance should be reflected in the teaching methods. How do we prepare our children to be self-reliant? How do we prepare the second generation through education for the self-reliance? So country philosophy is the important source of curriculum because it determines what to be learned for the need of the country and the need of the society. Another source is the knowledge. We need to consider what is the most important knowledge to be learned in the school. We want children to learn geography, to learn civics, to learn biology, but we need to assess what the most important knowledge that children need to learn through a particular course or particular program. So knowledge is also an important source which can determine what other intellectual skill must be taught in the schools. Another source is politics and political issues. This also shape curriculum and shape curriculum development. Some changes in the political system can also influence curriculum change. Some changes curriculum system can influence education needs, can influence education system. So politics and political issue also have important contribution in curriculum design and curriculum development. And a last source today I can mention is psychology. Psychology is very important source because learning is a process. So we need to understand how well and how effectively we can teach and help our children learn in the schools. So through psychology, we can borrow the various ways, we can take some various methods and some various techniques to make children learn effectively in the schools. So as I said, curriculum development is not the same as curriculum designing, even though are the terms which are working together. Curriculum development is a selection of learning objective, learning experience, and evaluation methods. But curriculum design now is the arrangement of these elements. So first you select the components or element of curriculum, but then you need to arrange. So arrangement of these components or elements is what we call curriculum design. So curriculum design refers to the structure or arrangement of components or curriculum elements. So do not confuse between curriculum development and curriculum design. In development, you select the components. In designing, you arrange the components. And there are various ways we can design or we can arrange the components. But today I'm going to mention or to discuss only 3 common elements which have been used by many institutions worldwide. And the first design is subject-centered, or sometimes we call it traditional way of designing curriculum. This way focuses on making learner absorb mostly the content of the subject matter. The subject-centered or traditional way is the design which makes learner absorb mostly the subject matter. I will repeat again. The subject-centered or traditional way of designing curriculum is a common design which used the traditional by many countries, by many education systems. And this design focus on making learner absorb subject contents. subject content, to understand physics, to understand history, to understand civics as the subjects. This means that according to this design, the subjects are the end of learning. The subjects are the end of learning and not means to an end of learning. And that's where we prefer to call it traditional way of designing curriculum. Another design is student-centered design. Student-centered design. This design based on the need and the interest of learners or of the children. It's building in the normal activities like playing, the usual activity which child engage every day. In this design, the courses are not organized in the content or in the subjects, but the courses are organized in the courseworks. More of engagement, more of interaction between a child and what needs to be learned. So this is student-centered, a student-focused, which make learner most engaged to the subjects, to the coursework, to the program. So in this design, the contents are not designed in the subject areas, but mostly designed in the coursework, so that to make a learner to engage more with the content. And the third design is problem-centered design. Problem-centered design, or sometimes we call it society-centered design. A design which focuses to make a student able to deal with everyday problems, to deal with everyday society problems. This is a problem-centered, or we can call it society-centered. Okay. This curriculum is loaded into society concern, into society needs, issues, and problems. And in this design, schools, teachers, and students are regarded as a tool for society changes. Students, schools, and teachers are regarded as the tools of society changes. So these are most common design which are used to design to arrange curriculum components. Subject-centered, which you refer to as traditional because it's based on the subjects. And also we have student-centered, which is based on making a child or student interact more in the content. And we have society-centered or problem-solving-centered, which make a learner, school, a content, and its teacher as the agent of society change. So these are the three major or most common design of curriculum. As I said before, curriculum design is a process of arranging the components or elements of curriculum. So, thank you very much for being with me in this lecture 1. This lecture is very surface, and I'm hoping in the next section we are going to learn more about content, selection, and organization. How do we organize curriculum content? How do we organize subjects in the curriculum? And also we are going to discuss more in the curriculum about curriculum design. We are going to discuss more the subject-centered, the student-centered, and society-centered more in the next section. And also in the next lectures, we are going to finish the topic 2, principle of curriculum, and implementation and evaluation, and the curriculum change and innovation. It's very interesting topics. They are very interesting topics, and the whole course, the whole section is very interesting because through this section you can get linked with other. You can link with other section of the course, but also with other courses in the program. Either it be BA with education, Bachelor of Education, and all other courses at the Open University. This is very important and very foundation course to understand and to manage to understand. So thank you very much for being with me, and I'm hoping to continue with another series of the lecture, Curriculum Development and Evaluation. Thank you. Good afternoon, dear students. My name is Dr. Janet Kigobe from Open University of Tanzania. I'm a course instructor of OEI 101, a course called Curriculum Development and Evaluation. Last time I took you through the first topic of this course, and today I'm going to expose you into two important topics of this course. The topics are Principle of Curriculum Implementation and Evaluation, and the third topic is Curriculum Change and Innovation. Please welcome. In this course, Curriculum Implementation and Evaluation, we are going to discuss 5 important subtopics. The first subtopic is meaning of curriculum implementation. We are going to discuss and understand meaning of curriculum implementation. The second subtopic is factors needed in curriculum implementation. What do we need when we're implementing a curriculum? The third subtopic is things to consider in curriculum evaluation and the meaning of curriculum evaluation. We're also going to discuss about types of curriculum evaluation process, and we'll be finishing with factors in the curriculum evaluation. Before we go further, I think it's very important for us to understand the meaning of curriculum implementation. Last time we discussed the meaning of curriculum and curriculum development. So after you develop a curriculum, you arrange the component of curriculum, then the actual practice, the actual implementation take place in the schools, take place in the classroom. So curriculum implementation is a process which involves helping a learner acquire knowledge and experience. It's a process of putting into practice the official prescribed courses of study, syllabus, and subjects. So this is a stage in curriculum whereby the official planned objectives are now implemented in the classroom, in the actual classroom situation. The implementation of curriculum also can be referred as what actually happened in the practice as compared to what is supposed to happen. Teachers are the main curriculum implementers, while at the same time, students, schools, parents, school administrators can be directly or indirectly involved in curriculum implementation. So, curriculum implementation involves several stakeholders: teachers, students, parents, school administrations, and other stakeholders. Stenhouse said that curriculum implementation is a manner in which the teacher selects and mixes various aspects of knowledge contained in the curriculum document or syllabus into practice. So we can refer curriculum implementation as how a teacher or school translates the official designed objectives into syllabus, scheme of work, a lesson plan, and deliver it to the students. So, in implementing a curriculum, there are various resources which are needed. We can say resources or factors needed in curriculum implementation. A first resource is a learner. Learner are the critical elements in curriculum implementation. We can say a learner holds the key to what is actually transmitted from official curriculum to the classroom. So learner are the key actors because they are the receiver of the curriculum. Another factor or another key important factor is teacher. Teachers are the one who translate the curriculum intentions into reality because they're the one translating curriculum objectives into syllabus, curriculum objectives into scheme of work, curriculum objective into lesson plan, lesson notes, and how they deliver it to the students. Another factor is school environment. When we talk about school environment, this the whole environment which students are learning in the school, where teachers are teaching in the school. And we have to understand that each particular school has its own environments which can influence ease or difficulty in implementing a curriculum. Another factor is culture and ideology cultural difference. Within a society or a country, there can be some differences in ideology or in culture. So sometimes communities may accept or resist government ideology through curriculum. If they accept it, then curriculum can be implemented easily. But if the government ideology through curriculum is not accepted by a particular community, then curriculum implementation becomes difficult. So we cannot ignore the role of culture and ideology in curriculum implementation. Another factor is instructional supervision. We all know that we have head of schools, we have educational leaders. So curriculum implementation cannot be achieved unless there is a critical instructional supervision from head of schools, from district education officers, and all other officers which are chosen to take care of education and teaching and learning process in particular area. So instructional supervision is very important for effective curriculum implementation. Another factor is assessment. Assessment is a form of examination. In the form of examination, also influence curriculum implementation so much. How do we assess our curriculum? How do we assess our learning? Also can influence directly or indirectly the curriculum implementation. And the last factor is interest groups. These can include parents, teachers associations, religious organization, local authority, companies, and private school proprietors. These can support curriculum implementation through advice. Sometimes they propose some subject area the needs are important. Sometimes they give financial support. Parents also support teacher, support their children learning. So interest groups are a very important factor in effective curriculum implementation. So there are various things which we need to consider when implementing a curriculum. If you want to implement curriculum effectively, then you need to take these things into consideration because are key important factors which can make curriculum implementation possible or not possible. These things are learners' needs. Learners are key receiver or recipient of curriculum. So we always need to consider their needs. Also, their financial resources. What we plan in the curriculum development cannot be achieved if there are enough financial resources to support it in the actual implementation. So financial resources determine how much learning and teaching material we can have, how we can facilitate teachers' training, how can we facilitate the availability of books, and etc. But also, there are availability of enough quality teachers. If there are not enough teachers, not only enough, but quality teachers, then curriculum implementation cannot be effective. So when we are implementing curriculum, we need to consider availability of enough and quality teachers. Another thing to consider when implementing a curriculum is society needs. Education is for society, and society is what shapes education. So whenever we are implementing curriculum, we need to consider what are the society needs. How are we preparing our children to go and save the society? So society needs are very important to consider when we are implementing a curriculum. But also we need to involve important stakeholders in education. I mentioned these stakeholders like religious leaders, religious groups, there are parents, there are companies. All these stakeholders can support financial, moral, and even social in effective curriculum implementation. Another thing to consider is change in science and technology. We know that science and technology is what drive everything in our society. So whenever we are implementing curriculum, we need to consider this change. How does this change reflect curriculum, and how does this change shape education needs and society needs? So these are the things to consider when implementing a curriculum. So after going through and discuss about curriculum implementation, now we are going to discuss about curriculum evaluation. What is curriculum evaluation? Why is it important in curriculum in teaching and learning process? Curriculum evaluation is important phase in curriculum development, and it's aimed to examine the impacts of implemented curriculum on students' learning achievements, so that we can either revise our curriculum, improve, or change our curriculum. So this is very critical phase in curriculum development, because this is a phase where we understand and where we can examine if implemented curriculum is well implemented, if our children learned what we're supposed to learn, and if we need to revise our curriculum or to innovate our curriculum or to change our curriculum. So this is very important phase in curriculum development. There are various types of curriculum evaluation, but today I'm going to talk about 3 types of curriculum evaluation. The first type, we call it formative evaluation. Formative evaluation is ongoing evaluation which took place in everyday activities in teaching and learning process. Instead of waiting until the end of the year or the end of the course, you evaluate the achievement of curriculum daily basis in their teaching and learning process to see how curriculum is working. Another type is summative evaluation. Summative evaluation is done at the end of the course or at the end of school year. Summative evaluation measures curriculum success by reviewing the outcome against the benchmark standard. You take what the planned objective and you evaluate at the end of the course or at the end of the year. An example of summative evaluation is a national examination, because it's a final exam, and in this exam we want to see if our children or students learn what they're supposed to learn after the course of program or at the end of the year. The third type is diagnostic evaluation. This evaluation is done for placement purposes, to see how you can place some students, either at the beginning of the course or at the end of the course. So this is diagnostic in nature, which intends to place a student. It's meant for placement purposes. So these are the types of curriculum evaluation. So there are various factors which can hinder a smooth curriculum evaluation. And these factors are the following. First is poor implementation of the curriculum. If curriculum was not implemented effectively, then there is a danger of failing to evaluate a particular curriculum. Another factor is poor evaluation tools. Which tool are you using to evaluate children after course of the start is very important. If you're using poor evaluation tools, then you cannot get the desirable information or desirable results. Another factor is absence of reliability between what was implemented and what is evaluated. If there is no consistency between what was being implemented and what is evaluated, then we cannot evaluate curriculum effectively. Another factor is lack of proper involvement of teachers. Teachers are very important actors in curriculum development, but most of the time they are fully involved during implementation and not during the development or not during the evaluation. So lack of proper involvement of teacher can lead to the failure of curriculum evaluation. So these are the factors which can hinder or obstacle the curriculum evaluation process. So after seeing curriculum evaluation and curriculum implementation, now let us see the curriculum innovation and change. You develop the curriculum, you arrange the curriculum components, you implement curriculum, you evaluate curriculum, and then now you can make change or you can innovate the curriculum, which is a normal process in any education system, because education need to change. It's a static thing. There are various issues which cause or which lead education process, content, and curriculum to change over time. So let us now discuss about curriculum change and innovation. What is curriculum change and what is curriculum innovation? Hoyle defined change as embracing the concept of innovation, development, renewal, and improvement of curriculum or improvement of education. I simply call change as improvement of education. I simply call change as renewal or improvement of curriculum or education. While curriculum innovation refers to ideas or practice that are new and different from those existing in formal prescribed curriculum. While change is embracing innovation, curriculum innovation is new ideas, new practice, which are very new and different from existing one. So it is an activating force within the system to add some practice and introduce new one. So sometimes we can change curriculum due to the society need and the education needs, but also sometimes we can introduce new practice for the same cause, for the society needs and the education needs. So are the change and innovation synonyms are the same thing? Curriculum change and curriculum innovation are not the same thing. Although these terms are different, they are sometimes used interchangeably by different users. It depends how do you use it. Perhaps you have to come to realize that the difference between innovation and change lies in the fact that innovation is always planned. We always plan to innovate. We decide to innovate. But change sometimes is because of external events or the immediate needs of change. So keep this in mind. In curriculum innovation, we introduce new things purposeful. But in curriculum change, we change because of particular need of particular time. So sometimes there might be some external events or some external needs which pressurize the curriculum and education change. So all innovation are change. That is obvious. All innovation are change. But not every change are innovation. Because we plan to change, all innovations are change. But because sometimes circumstances make education change, not all change are innovation. So for any curriculum innovation to be meaningful and effective, it must be planned and organized prior. For any curriculum innovation to be meaningful, it must be planned and organized. It's possible that change other than innovation may occur even when there is no plan. Change can happen anytime, even without any plan. But innovation needs to be planned, needs to be settled, needs to be decided. So that's the difference between change and innovation. All change are not innovation, but all innovation are change. So let's ask ourselves as student teachers, what drives curriculum change and innovation? What causes change in the curriculum? What causes change in the education system? And what causes innovation in the education system? First of all, I like to say that knowledge is not static. Knowledge is dynamic. So always change in knowledge can lead to the change in the curriculum or innovation in curriculum, because knowledge is not static. What we learned 20 years ago might not be valid to be learned today. So because of dynamic nature of knowledge, it's very important to understand that change in knowledge is most important cause of curriculum change and innovation. Another factor is change in science and technology. Science and technology drives our lives. How we lived 100 years ago or 20 years ago is not the same, because every day there are new innovation, new discoveries. So this change also drive curriculum, also drive education system, also change education system. Another factor which causes curriculum change is societal and political needs. Societal and political needs. Society needs also are also not static. Our needs every day change. What we need today is not what we need tomorrow. What we need during the famine is not what we need during the big harvest. So also society needs and political needs can also drive curriculum change and innovation. Another factor is change in economic. Economic change are also very important very important factor which can lead to curriculum change in innovation. And another factor is globalization and the need of global societies. We live in one small village. Everything is together. So when there is change in developing country, the change will come in developing countries. When there are change in least developing country, then the change will go to developing countries. Like now, the world is struggling to implement the competence-based curriculum. You see competence-based curriculum in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Taiwan, in China, also in Tanzania. These are the need of global societies. So sometimes, and many times, globalization and the need of global societies can lead to curriculum change and innovation. And another factor is purposeful initiative for innovation. Purposeful initiative for innovation. As I said, innovation are planned change. So sometimes educators, stakeholders can sit down and decide to make some innovation to the existing curriculum, to the existing education system. And the last factor is not the last. There are so many factors. But last in my presentation is time. Time change, things change. Time comes with new needs. Time comes with new requirements. Time comes with new desire for society, for individual, and for the world. So time also is a big factor which causes curriculum change and innovation. This is the end of my presentation. I wish I could have a lot more time to discuss so many things, but I promise you to prepare another lecture and send to you. So please continue to follow me in the coming lectures. Thank you for your attention and thank you for your participation. Thank you very much.